I do applaud you for coming today. This is an important meeting, and it is full of emotion. And let's make sure that we come into this room as Republicans and leave this room as Republicans. So, with that means decorum. Let's not talk over other people when we are in there. I do have this gavel. Don't make me use it. I would prefer not to. I think we're all here to get through this thing, and this very first thing that we get to do gets to set the rails for how we do it. So, let's get into it. The way that we're going to go, we've got a couple of things to do this morning. We have to set our officers, and then we set our rules. So at first, I'd like to introduce the officers that were elected last Thursday, June 11th, by the state committee and they are. Wow, that was good. Stumbled right through that. Randy Head as permanent chairman of the convention, Aaron Minnick as permanent secretary of the convention, John Cochran as parliamentarian of the convention, Brad King as chief tabulator of the convention, and Barry Schust, assistant tabulator for the convention. Is there approval from the committee on those?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. See, it can be done. All right. Having heard and approved the slate of convention officers, we'll move on to the consideration of properly filed amendments to the rules of the convention. There was one properly filed amendment, which was to have been filed before 10 a.m. Wednesday, June 17th. The way this will go from here, Mr. Joe Bortka, who did file that, Joseph, I apologize, that's what you'd be referred to, did file an amendment. He will have 5 minutes to present his amendment, followed by 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes, of 5 individuals that wish to speak in favor of that amendment, followed then by 5 individuals that could speak up to 1 minute to oppose that amendment. We all have to work together to get to those 5 people. so not knowing what we were here, we got a timeline, so we need to get out of here, but we want to make sure that we hear and do some good conversation as we go. So, Mr. Bortka, your 5 minutes will begin when you start talking.
The Virginia.
Didn't mean to turn that.
Testing. The Virginia Declaration of Rights, on which many of our founding documents were built, states that no free government or the blessings of liberty can be preserved to any people but by firm adherence to justice, moderation, temperance, frugality, and virtue, and by frequent recurrence to fundamental principles. So why are we here? This committee's job is to recommend standing rules to the convention. Once the convention adopts them, standing rules are in effect until the convention adjourns, barring amendment or suspension. Standing rules may override the general parliamentary rights of delegates and are subject to an organization's bylaws and the laws of the land. Convention standing rules nearly always constrain business and delegates' rights far more than standard parliamentary law, and for good reason. This is not disputed. What is disputed is which specific guardrails we should implement. First, it must be stated that in our convention there are no bylaws to concern ourselves with. The state committee rules cannot bind the convention because they were never agreed to by the convention. Until 2024, the committee rules even admitted they had no power to bind the convention, stating, subject to the Republican Party of the state in Indiana, in the state convention duly assembled, the state committee is the supreme party authority in this state and a permanent political body continuous from year to year. This was quickly removed after I attempted to invoke it. But no matter the change, just ask yourself, if this was the case before 2024, would the state committee have the authority to change the hierarchy without the permission of its higher authority? No, they do not. State and federal laws also have little authority to restrict the governance of political parties, according to several Supreme Court cases. So we have established that with little exception, the rules we adopt as a convention have little to bind them, and the convention has a right to bring whatever business so long as it is relevant to the Republican Party organization, whether platform amendments, binding or non-binding resolutions, rule changes, candidate nominations, votes of no confidence in leadership, and more. Some of these are rather extreme and in a well-functioning organization will be exceedingly rare, but they are legitimate subjects of business and discussion at the convention, which brings me to my proposed resolution. The first question I anticipate is, this is the Rules Committee. Shouldn't you bring this to the Resolutions Committee? The answer is that in the Central Committee rules, which the State Committee maintains do bind the convention, state that I have no right to bring the resolution because it is a binding resolution. In other words, if passed, it would be of consequence. If the committee is to be believed, this convention is a neutered body and cannot take actions beyond what it has permission to from the State Central Committee. And I have every reason to believe these inferior rules will be inappropriately used as pretext to dismiss this resolution as they have in the past. This is an inversion of the proper order established over 150 years ago in our conventions that established a deliberative body in the convention and a subordinate state committee. But no matter. It should be made explicit that this one resolution be discussed, debated, and voted on by the convention. Why? For several conventions in a row now, there have been disturbances and discord sown because delegates have sought to invoke their rights, then they have been violated year after year. The convention's authority has been usurped, further inflaming an already factious party. My resolution seeks to reestablish by the convention's authority an orderly means of bringing business for delegates that is merely reestablishing a practice that was done as recently as 2016. If the convention votes against this proposal, it is the convention's right to do so. However, it is the convention's decision to make. If we cannot resolve this here, I will invoke my right to move to amend the committee report tomorrow morning, but I, and I'm sure many others, would prefer to resolve this here. I'd be happy to take any of your questions.
Does anyone from the committee have any questions before we open to? Hearing none. Okay. Who wants to speak in favor?
Got one. Please state your name
and county.
and one name.
Frank Peterman, Vanderburgh County. Thank you for your service and serious consideration during this hearing today. I speak to urge you to approve the restoration of district caucuses, which have historically been the true and proper place for delegates to conduct convention business. Over 40 years, I've been a project manager at IBM, General Electric, a university professor, commercial real estate developer, and realtor. I've been coming to our Indiana Republican conventions for 30 years, starting in 1996. I have worked on dozens of local, state, and federal campaigns. I have served as a township trustee and on our Vanderburgh County Central Committee. Now that the awful COVID-19 era is over, now is the time to vote, to return to our normal order of business and restore our district caucuses. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Thanks. Thank you. Name and county, please.
Michael Morris, Tippecanoe County. My remarks can be short. You notice over the past decades, the Central Committee has reduced the power of the assembled delegates from being able to elect national delegates to having district caucuses to limiting what the delegates can do at this convention. When power is consolidated to a central location, it rarely ends well for that organization. I urge you to reverse this trend. Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Schmidt. Some of you might know me from the Mouthwash Talk Show podcast. I actually was the sacrificial lamb that ran against Andre Carson in the last election. And Matt here is in District 7. He knows how that is. Now, my game prize for that was that I got 2,500 more votes than Trump and 4,600 more votes than Braun in that district. So that was, but I lost by 100,000 votes. My point being,
should have stopped early. on that talk.
In Mars Hill, which is an underserved neighborhood out by the airport. And we are in District 7 in Marion County, we are down to about 4-1 Democrat to Republican. And I've watched my Republican friends move. And why did they move? Because they don't feel like their voice is being heard, and they don't feel like they have any say in anything. And we're just getting run over by a well-organized Democrat machine. Now, my little talk here is going to be more of a warning. I see that happening with the division of this person, that person. I'm winding it up here. So my plea is to let's get the delegates back involved. And this gets them back involved. And I keep hearing this is a big tent, but I just don't see the door.
Jeff Rosignol, Lake County, Indiana. I believe I get 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
You only get one.
I get one?
Everybody gets one.
All right, well, I get cut down, all right. My first experience was in 2022 at this convention, and I was extremely disappointed with the way that whole thing ran down. I think it needs to get back to the people. We need to have this amount of people making decisions for the people instead of, let's just say, this group right here. Even though you represent them, when you get more of the people together, you're going to get a lot more ideas and probably move in a better direction. You know, we the people represent all the citizens and shouldn't be relegated to a small amount of folks. Any small group that purports to know what is best for this country should we consider. One small group known as our founding fathers, with the help of a citizen militia, is what started this country against all odds, and here we are yet today to celebrate 250 years as a republic, where supreme power resides with the citizens and exercised through our elected representatives.
Thank you, Lord. Leslie Dahlner, Lake County. I just want to remind the board, thank you for the opportunity, but we represent the entire state of Indiana. We all have precincts that we have to answer to. And when you remove the Robert Rules of Order, you are removing our voice. That is not how this works. We, the people, have a voice, and you need to take that into consideration when you're making all these convention rules. You cannot forget about us, because without us, there is no you.
That will conclude the in favor of. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition to this amendment? We got one. State your name and county.
Hello, I'm Todd Angerman. I'm from Lake County, Indiana. I'm going to speak about one little pitfall that could happen if this does come to pass. Thank you for your time. This Saturday, June 20th, your fellow delegates will look to this committee to uphold the integrity of the process. I'm here to urge you to reject any modifications to one simple rule, which is 731. That rule, or that role of the Rules Committee, is to ensure stability and fairness, not to carve out exceptions for last-minute political ambitions. Rule 731 clearly states a 30-day filing deadline. This window exists to protect the rights of grassroots candidates, giving them adequate time to vet candidates and to review economic interest statements. When a candidate misses this deadline, it's not a minor oversight. It is a failure to respect the process. Bending the rules now to accommodate a single individual does three damaging things. It penalizes compliance. It disrespects the candidates who did actually follow the rules, file on time, and pay their fees. I'm done. All right. There's other reasons too.
I'm not sure that was germane to the amendment at hand. Is there? But thank you very much for your concerns about things that may or may not happen tomorrow. Somebody come on in. Please state your name and your county.
Good morning, Chase Smith, Crawford County. As everybody here is aware, there's a platform process, there is a committee process, and the rules as they're drafted, besides this amendment, represent the work of hundreds of people and thousands of hours to get to the point where we are now. So that this convention can be an orderly process where we can come for the purpose for which we were called, which is to nominate candidates for Secretary of State, Treasurer, and Auditor. I would ask you to reject this amendment, if for no other reason than to respect the time of the people that have traveled hours across. I traveled 4 hours to get here, travel all the way across the state, to respect our time and to allow us to get on with our day. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll call this close. Any other questions from the committee related to anything, or I'll be willing to entertain a motion to vote on the amendment. Yeah.
So I apologize to my fellow committee members. I wasn't able to attend the first committee meeting when some of this was crafted due to a county council meeting. So I always have to take my elected position as the priority over my appointed position. So I appreciate the opportunity to serve alongside all of you. This is a talented group of people. Obviously an engaged group of delegates that are here with us today, and it's so awesome to see this. One of the things that I have a great passion for in my service to my county as a county chairman is we actually do decentralize what we do in Lake County. We have, I think it's 11 or 12 small groups that's a part of our county committee. We appoint local chairmen, and we kind of take this with a large precinct organization, a divide and conquer sort of approach to these things. So as I look through this proposed amendment, is this something, Mr. Chairman, that could be considered one piece at a time, or does this have to all be considered together? Because I think there are some things in here that would not dishonor the work of people that have put the work into the process, but with delegates being elected in the May primary, the delegates didn't have thousands of hours to put into this. So finding a way to create some balance and open the door to a productive process of amendments to be considered by the whole convention, to me is something that is warranted. It creates trust in the party structure. It creates real connection and engagement with the people that are our grassroots, the delegates, and a lot of you are precinct committeemen too. So finding that mechanism that is productive, that honors the work that people do to come up with these rules and the platform and other things, but also honors the folks that put their name on the ballot to run for delegate to vote on these important issues of our party without there being a mechanism to amend. It's almost really kind of a worthless process. So I'd like to see us at least kind of go through these lines and have that discussion to see if there are things in here that we could get at least a little consensus on that would allow for that consideration. I like that in the proposed amendment, number 4, it says...
Can I stop you for a second?
Yes.
Thank you. What I'm hearing is you're making a motion to go through this point by point. And then we'll decide on each rather than as a whole.
Well, I think that what that does is it allows us to not have to throw the baby out with the bathwater,
Sure.
right? It gives us a chance to evaluate it and analyze it.
Okay, that was me asking if that would be a
So
motion
moved.
that you'd be.
I got your point, Darren. I'm
Okay.
a politician. I like to talk.
All right. I don't know the battery life on that mic, but
One left, I got more extra.
it's all right. So, okay. So, do we have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I'll second.
All right. We have a motion and a second to go through the amendment point by point. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Yeah, I think we need to do a roll call on that one. Clay, can you help us out with the roll call?
Give me 1 moment.
Should have warned you on that one.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer? Yes. Who's second district rep again?
Matt?
Mr. Jonah? Yes. Mayor McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Boots?
No.
Mr. Masalamani?
No.
Mr. Hyde?
No.
Mr. Huckabee?
No.
Ms. McKay?
Yes.
Mr. Flirt?
No.
Five no's. So it's tied.
Well, in that case, let's go through these things. All right.
Point of order, the tied committee fails.
Yes, the tie committee fails.
Oh,
It does.
okay. All right. All right.
The chair didn't vote.
You voted first.
I counted 6 yeses.
Okay. Are we there that a tie fails in this circumstance? Okay, thank you, John. And so then we need a different motion. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second
What was the motion?
to approve as presented?
I'll second it just so that we can take a vote.
Okay. All right. Motion and a second to approve as presented. Let's do a roll call again.
Well, I'd like
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Oh, okay. May I speak? Sure.
I certainly was in favor of line by line going through this because I do think there's some points that are important and really do matter, like district caucuses, and I do support that. However, I do not support, and I will be a no vote for the entire package.
And anybody else want to? And welcome, Scott. Thank you.
I'm glad of the traffic to get here. Apologize for being late. I agree. I would like to see the restoration of district caucuses. I don't know that the whole thing was really ever crafted to be voted on point by point, so that's why I voted no. I too would like to see the restoration of district caucuses. I remember those. A lot of important business happened in those. I hope we can get back to them.
I just wanted to make a couple of points after the discussion that we heard amongst the room for the benefit of the committee. So in the drafted rules as approved, the very first rule cites Indiana Code 38411. There was a couple comments made earlier today that said that the rules of the State Republican Committee do not apply at the state convention. Indiana Code 38411, I'm just going to read it directly. All matters regarding a state convention that are not prescribed by this chapter or by other laws are controlled by the rules of the state committee of the political party holding the convention and by the rules adopted by the convention. So this committee is created by the rules of the Indiana Republican State Committee, which was created by convention back in history. Some might recall that the Constitutional Convention created the Constitution of the United States, but it gave the authority to amend the Constitution to the Congress and to the states. Once that authority is granted, they have the authority to make amendments. That's exactly what happened in this case. The state committee was granted authority to make amendments to the rules of the state committee, and it chose to do so. This committee is created by those rules, as is the process for the convention. The state convention, the rules of the state committee are very clear about what our job as a convention is and what this committee's job is. And I believe that the document that we have already approved highlights those in a way that educates the delegates on how the processes work. It works based on our rules for the state committee. And so there was also some discussion on, and I don't have a strong opinion on district caucuses. one way or the other. I do think they're a logistical challenge in doing these things, but I could be persuaded one way or the other on it. I think that the appropriate place to have that conversation would be a change in state committee rules, because that is how this process works, or how those rules are written today. So if you want to change those, there's an avenue to do that. There was also a couple comments about decentralization. We have a decentralized party by its nature, by our rules. Those are set up by, it is a bottom-up organization, starting with precinct committeemen, who elect county committees, who elect district committees, who elect a state committee. And that state committee is who has the authority to change these rules. And they have done so multiple times throughout history for a number of different reasons. We, as this committee, don't have authority to change those rules. And so with that, I think it's pretty clear that our path forward needs to be to reject this amendment. Thank you.
Other comments?
Mr. Chairman, would it be appropriate, listening to the tone of conversation up here, the subject of conversation, would it be appropriate to amend my motion to making a motion to approve the portion of the proposed amendment directing the restoration of district caucuses as a recommendation to the state committee?
Mr. Chairman, was this amendment filed as a complete amendment so that we have to consider it as complete?
It was filed in one entry. I think it's up to us to decide how we want to go through that. So we had a motion on the floor.
Right, there was a motion and second to it. There was a motion.
There was a motion and second to approve as submitted, and listening to the discussion of this panel, I amended my motion to approve a portion of the proposed amendment, the directing of the restoration of district caucuses, and abiding by the statement of Mr. Huckabee, making that as a recommendation of a party rule change to the state party.
Not to the convention.
Well, according to the
amendment.
Point of order.
Sure.
There is a motion on the floor
And there was a second.
and a second on considering it as a
Let's
package.
do that, and
We
then
need to take that vote, then we can take another vote after that.
So we can knock it down and then you can make a different.
That's fair, yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right. We're ready for, we are.
Are you ready, Mr. Chairman?
We are.
Mr. Chairman? How's your vote?
No.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Jelinek?
No.
Mr. McMichael?
No.
Mr. Dukes?
No.
Mr. Maslamani?
No.
Mr. Hyde?
No.
Mr. Huckabee?
No.
Ms. McKay? Mr. Fleur?
No.
Motion does not succeed.
Mr. Chairman, that almost seems like I'm back on the Lake County Council with all the Democrats. I just got familiar territory to me. No, I don't mean you are Democrats. I mean it's a familiar situation to be the one vote, right? So.
Okay.
Now, would you consider another motion, Mr. Chairman?
Let's go.
I make a motion to approve the portion of the amendment directing the restoration of district caucuses as a recommendation to the state committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. How about some discussion?
I would be, if this was the resolutions committee and I was appointed to that committee, I would be happy to consider this as an option. This is the rules committee. And so I do believe that this is going to be considered by the resolutions committee later today. Someone on staff may be able to confirm or deny that. Okay, yes. So they're going to consider that today. I mean, again, I don't have a strong opinion about it, but I just don't think this is the appropriate venue for it.
Any other discussion? The problem is, as the Rules Committee, I don't think that we can give a recommendation for this. I think that the proper venue for this would be through the Resolutions Committee, which is meeting this afternoon.
As a rules. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 o'clock, right across the hall over there. I think that's that. I think that.
Got more chairs there?
It's also fair to think that committee has heard what is going on here. So, I don't want to conflate what would be a standing, independent suggestion to the state committee while we are defining these rules that will be presented tomorrow.
So doesn't that mean our elections mean nothing then as delegates?
Guys,
Just saying.
let's let the committee do its work, and we can solve the problem after.
And again,
the process plays out.
Yeah, we're not trying to, stifle your vote or voice or anything like that. We believe that if you want to make a recommendation to state party as it pertains to this change, it is more appropriate to be held in the Resolutions Committee, which is meeting this afternoon. Everyone is welcome to go to that meeting, and you can bring that up at that meeting. Unfortunately, as a Rules Committee, I don't believe that we have the authorization to even make that recommendation. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm just trying to follow, unfortunately, the rules that we have to adhere to.
So I'll just read IRSC Rule 725. And I'm not going to read it in its entirety because there's a lot that doesn't pertain to this issue, but feel free to, it's on the state website, so feel free to look it up. The Committee on Permanent Organization, Rules, and Order of Business reviews all rules pertaining to the convention and presents slates of officers to the convention. The committee shall convene, blah, blah, blah. Any proposed amendments to these rules must be submitted in writing. All proposed amendments should be submitted, and then the rest is just about the process. So it does not, we don't have the ability to pass resolutions in this committee.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Again, I love being a Republican, right? Because we debate these things, and this is part of the great part of this party is the individual disagreements we can have, but good debates. So this would be a recommendation, but the district delegate caucuses would be a change to the rules of a caucus by definition. So I don't see why this body can't take up even just a recommendation being made as something to put on the record to the state committee to say this was the will of the Rules Committee to look at the rules of conventions to include the provision that includes a district delegate caucus prior to the convention so that there's an orderly process to consideration of amendments. That to me is something that seems pretty simple, that it is part of the rules, that while it's not the rules of today's convention, it's a recommendation of a rule change for rules to future conventions.
So here's what I think we need to do. I think we need to get the business done of whether we amend the rules as presented or not, and then revisit immediately after that if we want to do a resolution that is non-binding that anybody could just not care about or care about, and then call it a day. I believe the tenor of this committee has been a resounding, let's take a look at getting district caucuses back in them. So I think we're just trying to find a way to do that appropriately. Right, we have a motion to accept. We have a motion to recommend to the state committee and a second on the floor to be able to reconsider district caucuses.
Are you ready, Mr. Chairman?
I am ready.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Jelinek?
Yes.
Mr. McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Boots?
Yes.
Was that a yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Masalamani?
No.
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
We still gotta do our stuff.
Mr. Huckabee?
No.
Ms. McKay?
Yes.
Mr. Fleur?
Yes. Okay, the resolution will be sent to the state. All right, we are not done yet. We're keep it going.
I will move the approval of the previously prepared rules package.
And I will second that.
Any further discussion related to that? Good enough. Call the vote.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Yes.
Mr. Johnnick?
Yes.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Mr. Boots?
Yes.
Mr. Masselmani?
Yes.
Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
Mr. Huckabee?
Yes.
Ms. McKay?
Yes.
Mr. Fleur?
Yes. All right. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, the most pressing thing right now, who would like to make a motion to adjourn this body?
I'll make a motion.
No, that's just for us. I know we're all getting along. We have a motion from Mr. Fleur and a
Second, quick discussion though. I just want to thank all the committee members. I didn't mean it. What I said was calling you Democrats. That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst insults a person could give a fellow Republican. So I wanted to clarify that I sit in the minority on the county council. But thank you all very much for your consideration.
Really quickly, everyone should go to the resolutions committee this afternoon, especially, 2 o'clock. And then finally, the United States is playing Australia this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I am going to be having a watch party at the Happy Gnome. It's just a couple blocks over. Would love for everyone to attend.
Make sure there's enough chairs.
I hear that.
Go USA.
All those in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. No one is against. All of you have a great convention. Thanks for all that.